ChatGPT is not thinking. It has no idea what it's saying. It doesn't understand language the way you do. And yet it can write better essays than most people, explain complex topics clearly, debug your code, and hold a conversation that feels completely natural. How is that possible? How can something that doesn't understand language produce language that seems so coherent? The answer is both simpler and stranger than most people expect. And once you understand it, you'll use these tools much more effectively, and you'll stop being fooled by the things they get wrong. ChatGPT is what's called a large language model, or LLM. The key word there is language. It was built to work with language, not to reason about the world, not to look things up, not to think. Language. Specifically, it was trained to predict what word, or more precisely what token, comes next in a sequence. A token is roughly a word, or part of a word. The word understand might be one token. The word understanding might be two. The model reads a sequence of tokens and predicts what token should come next. That's the core task. That's it. Now, that sounds trivially simple. But here's the thing. The only way to get good at predicting the next word across every topic in human knowledge is to actually develop a deep statistical model of how language, ideas, facts, and reasoning fit together. The training data was essentially the entire internet, plus books, academic papers, and code. Hundreds of billions of words. The model read all of it over and over, adjusting its internal settings every time it made a wrong prediction. What emerged from that process was a model with something like 75 billion parameters in the original GPT-3 and far more in later versions. Parameters are just numbers, like dials on an enormous machine. During training, all those dials get tuned, and by the time training is done, those parameters encode an extraordinary amount of information about language, facts, logic, and style, all in the form of mathematical weights. When you type a question into ChatGPT, here's what actually happens. Your message gets converted into tokens. Those tokens go into the model. The model runs billions of calculations using its trained parameters and produces a probability distribution over its entire vocabulary. Basically, a ranked list of what word is most likely to come next. It picks from the top of that list, adds that word, and then does it again. And again, word by word, token by token, until it decides the response is complete. There's no lookup happening. It's not searching a database. It's not pulling from a stored list of answers. It's generating each word fresh, based on everything it learned during training and everything you've said in the current conversation. This explains why ChatGPT can sound so confident while being completely wrong. Confidence is a language pattern, not a sign of accuracy. If the model has seen a lot of text that confidently states false things, it will confidently state false things too. It doesn't have a fact checker. It has no way to verify whether what it's generating is true. It only knows what patterns in language look like. This is why researchers call it hallucination, when the model invents facts, fake citations, or events that never happened. It's not lying. It doesn't have intentions. It's producing the most statistically plausible continuation of the text, and sometimes that continuation isn't real. After the base model was trained on all that text, OpenAI added another layer called reinforcement learning from human feedback, or RLHF. Human trainers rated the model's responses, and those ratings were used to further tune the model toward being helpful, harmless, and honest. This is what gives ChatGPT its specific personality, its tendency to add caveats, its refusals on certain topics. That's not the base model. That's a layer of additional tuning on top. So what is ChatGPT actually good for? Anything that's really a language task. Summarizing long documents, drafting emails, reports, or social media posts, brainstorming ideas, explaining concepts in different ways, translating, reformatting data, writing code, because code is a form of language that the model saw a lot of during training. What is it bad at? Arithmetic, logic puzzles that require keeping track of many things at once, anything that requires real-time information it wasn't trained on. And any situation where being wrong has serious consequences, because it will be wrong sometimes and it won't tell you when. The most important thing to understand is this. ChatGPT is a tool for working with language, not a tool for discovering truth. Use it like a very fast, very capable writing assistant who sometimes makes things up and needs to be checked. Work with it that way, and it's genuinely powerful. Treat it like an oracle, and it will mislead you. If this helped you understand how ChatGPT actually works, subscribe. We break down AI every week in plain English.